Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Spiritual Gangster New Order tutorial. Really excited to teach you everything you need to know to place orders with Spiritual Gangster 24/7, 365 days a year, all at your convenience. So before we get into exactly how to place an order, let me tell you some general things. Spiritual Gangster does 4 lines a year: spring, summer, fall, and holiday. Each line has 3 ship windows. So to give an example, the summer 2017 line, the first ship window is April 1st to the end of April, then the second ship window is May 1st to the end of May, and then the last ship window is June 1st to the end of June. It's easy to remember because if you've got 4 lines times 3 ship windows, 4 times 3 is 12, there's 12 months in a year. Basically, we set things up so that conceivably, depending on the items you pick, you can have new Spiritual Gangster goods coming into your studio every month. Now, some places love to do that because it keeps the customers excited, but it is more important to pick the gear that you think is right for your clientele. It's more important than stuff coming in every month. So feel free to do what is right for your business. We just wanted to let you know that was an option. The other thing I want to let you know is that the minimum order for a Pure Bar location for any given line, which means all 3 ship windows combined, is only $500. If you're not a Pure Bar location, it's a little bit higher. The minimum order per line, again, meaning all 3 ship windows combined, is $800. Okay, the other general piece of information I want to give you is that when we talk about ordering, we generally talk about 2 different types of orders, both immediate and pre-books. So pre-booking is when you're looking 3 to 6 months in advance, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. And immediate orders is for, well, just what it sounds like, for what we have in stock now. So let's get into it. And let's see here. So you can see on the left-hand side, you have a bunch of different filters. And if you click the arrow, the down arrow under availability, you get the 2 choices we were just discussing, pre-book and immediate. So if I'm doing an immediate order, I simply click on the immediate button, clear that out, and you get all the choices that are currently in stock. Now, if something interests you, you can left click on it, and the specific information about that item will come up on your right-hand side. So I'm just going to review that real quick with you. You have the name of the item, in this case, Om Namaste. You'll have the wholesale price of $23 and the retail price of $55. A couple things I'd like to point out there. First is that every item that we send you is going to have a tag on it. It's going to have the name of the item. It's going to have the retail price, and it's going to have the SKU number. The second thing I wanted to point out is to notice the difference between the wholesale and the retail price. The difference between those two is what we call in the apparel business the IMU, which stands for initial markup. One of the things as a retailer that you're going to love about Spiritual Gangster is that we have fantastic styles. Everything is really, really comfortable. Everything's really, really well made, and everything has a great IMU, which means more profit for you. In this case, let's see, the item is $23 for you and $55 retail. So you can see that's a double wholesale plus $9 for your retail price. So that's really, really good. This is a drop-down box you should never touch, so leave that alone. Scooching down a little bit under product details, you have the style number. It tells you it's from the spring 2017 collection. It's in color blush. It's a women's short, and then that would be the fabric breakdown right there. Let's say I wanted one of each of the sizes of this particular item. I simply enter each one in each of these size boxes there under the select quantity. Then I hit order. Then I move on to my next item. Let's see here, find something has a lot of availability. A little tough this time of year. Okay, there we go. So let's say I want one of each of these, same thing. Hit order. And you'll notice every time I hit order, my little shopping bag up here, the number increases. That is simply your shopping cart, just like on any other website. If you're on Amazon or what have you, all your items go into a cart that you can review before you submit the order. Same idea here. And I'm going to show you that cart in just a moment. So that's your immediate order. The really cool thing about immediate orders is that they ship from our warehouse within 3 business days of you placing the order. Sometimes it's even the same business day, depending on what's going on in the warehouse, but it should always leave in no more than 3 business days. So we get things out pretty quick to you. Now, if I'm doing a pre-book order, instead of clicking on immediate, let me just get rid of that. I click on pre-book, and then I also hit the little arrow next to season, and I pick the one and only one season that you'd be looking at. You can't order more than one pre-book at a time. In fact, I think when you open up to your own all product gallery, that won't even really have more than one choice. But just in case it does, just know that you can't pick more than one season. So if something interests you, it's the same thing. You can just click on it. Let's find, there we go. Nope, gotta find something with a little availability. It's late in the season here, sorry about that. Here we go. And it's the same thing. You would just put your size run in there and then hit order. Now, the one thing that I want to point out is that if you're ordering before the pre-book deadline, and you should always try to order before the pre-book deadline, generally speaking, when you have an item that's a pre-book and whatever season it is, you won't see anything down here. As long as it's before the deadline that you're placing the order, you won't see this available and you won't see any numbers. It will just be blank. Why is that? That's because the pre-book deadline is the day that Spiritual Gangster collects all our orders and then puts in our own purchase orders with our manufacturer to get everything made. And that's all based on the pre-books that we get. So up until that deadline, you're not going to see any numbers down there or anything underneath an item in terms of size run. So you're welcome to order as many as you want in each size. You know, keep in mind that you can't return anything, so don't go too crazy. But you have free reign as long as you're doing a pre-book order that is before the deadline. Talking about deadlines, how the normal situation is, how it will work is that you will receive an email from me several weeks before the pre-book deadline for whatever season it is, just basically saying, hi, you know, we're taking pre-book orders for whatever the season is. This is the deadline. Please get your orders in on time. And I really want to emphasize getting your orders in on time, your pre-book orders in on time. Because every day after the deadline, you might very well run into styles that are completely out of stock or have broken size runs or something like that. So if you after your initial order, getting on a regular schedule of getting your pre-book orders in on time really behooves you so that you have the full run of the line. You don't have to worry about getting shut out or anything like that, okay? So I really want to emphasize that. Okay, and as I was saying before, basically doing a pre-book looks exactly like doing an immediate, except of course there's no quantities and you're not going to get that stuff for a while. But basically you're picking your size runs and then hitting order, and then the items go into a cart. Another thing I really want to point out is that you should never do this. You should never combine a pre-book and an immediate order. There's a whole bunch of technical reasons for that. I'm not going to get into it, but you should always do those separately, okay? Very, very important. Many of you who are seeing this video, this is going to be your first time ordering, so that's going to become particularly important and not to combine those. The other thing I want you to know is for every order that you place, you're going to receive in your email an order acknowledgement. And basically, that order acknowledgement is going to be a list of the different ship windows on that particular order and the different items, SKU numbers, which fall under each of those ship windows. So if you're doing an immediate order, of course, there's only going to be one ship window and all the items will be under that ship window. If you're doing a pre-book order, there may be somewhere between 1 and 3 ship windows. And you will see the items. It all depends on which items you pick, how many ship windows are going to be, because each item has its own ship window, and you're always able to see which one it falls under right over there. And that will also come up in your preview in the cart, which I'm just about to show you. So never combine a pre-book and an immediate, and always look for those order acknowledgments that come in your email. You should always keep them forever. You may need to reference them later if you're getting in contact with me about an order or an item. It's best to always have those. Those order acknowledgments should show up in your email within an hour after placing the order. If you don't see it in your regular email, check your junk or spam. If you don't see it in any of those places, contact me, because it means there's an issue, although I've never, ever seen that happen. So anyway, whatever order you're doing, you put your items in the cart, and when you're all set, you just go into your cart. Then you've got 2 pages here. On your first page, let me just pick somebody here at random. Let's see here. The one thing I want you to check on this page is simply the shipping address, especially if your shipping address is different than your billing address or you have multiple ship addresses. Make sure it's on the right one. If it's not, use the drop-down box and change it to whatever is appropriate. So if it gets shipped to the wrong place, that's your fault. So watch that on page 1. Page 2 is your cart. And there's a couple of important things here I want to point out. The most important thing is to tell you is to review your cart before hitting submit, okay? And what are you looking for? You want to make sure it's the right items that you have and that you have the right size runs, okay? A lot of people make mistakes like this. They do something like this. They meant to do one across the board here, but they did 1, 1, 10, 1. Well, if you don't notice that, and we actually have 10, and then you hit submit, we're going to charge you and we're going to send them for you, because when you hit submit, essentially you're signing a contract to buy the goods as you've placed the order. So you want to make any changes on this page before hitting submit. And I scroll down and I see my other items. Now, if by accident, let's say for some crazy reason, you wanted 25 of this particular item, but there's only 19 available, you'll see it will show you right here in red, and you'll have to make the change there. And easy enough, and hit tab, and then you're back to good. The red has disappeared. Now, let's say you have not hit submit yet, and you're like, you know what, I don't want this take it easy rib bracer anymore. I don't want it anymore at all. As long as you haven't hit submit, you can just hit remove product. It will remove the whole thing. But then let's say you still haven't hit submit, and you're like, you know what, I want to add some more items to my order. Not a problem. As long as you haven't hit submit, just hit X. That takes you out to the order page, and you can just go to whatever item you're interested in and put your size run in again, and then it's the same procedure. Go back into your cart, go to page 2, and then check everything again. And then when you're all set, you go ahead and hit submit. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to actually place an order for this company. So I'm going to get rid of that and get rid of that. And that is basically ordering. Again, you're picking either immediate and not checking anything down here, or if you're doing a pre-book order, you're hitting pre-book and the one and only one season. Put your items in the cart, review the cart to make sure everything is the way they want it, and then hit submit, and then look out for those order acknowledgments. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Brooks, BROOKS, at spiritualgangster.com, or my number, 347-612-6394, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thanks for joining us, and you have a great day.